Gone to New Orleans for Elevate. I just can't wait to see my friends in transportation. June 9 through 11, that's when we go. We like him, that's what we sing. Gonna get me a beignet at TMSA. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Standing Out, a podcast about sales, marketing, and leadership. I'm Trey Griggs, your host. Happy to have you with us today. We've got a great show today. Can't wait to bring on our guest in just a little bit. But before we do that, got to make a few announcements. First of all, if you're listening to us today on Reads Across America Radio, thank you so much for tuning in. So excited to be a syndicate on that program. You can catch us every Tuesday at 6 p.m. with an episode of Standing Out. And again, thank you for supporting Reads Across America and their mission to really train the next generation to teach them about the sacrifice that our veterans have made for us. Also, we got Courtney George coming up real soon. She's going to be on the next episode, so tune in for that one next Tuesday night. Courtney George, who works with Reads Across America, talking about how she is getting ready for the next event coming up here in December. Also, it's not too late to sign up for the TMSA conference next week. Elevate, going to be in New Orleans, June 9 through 11. Again, go to events.tmsatoday.org to register today. Again, events.tmsatoday.org. And we will see you down in New Orleans next week, coming up real soon. So can't wait to have that event going on. It's going to be a good time. Also, be sure to follow us on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is beta_podcast_network. The Beta Podcast Network. Make sure that you subscribe and click notifications so you never miss an episode of Standing Out or any of our other content that we have out there in the ether out there. Also want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, SPI Logistics. Listen, if you're a freight broker and you're just tired of managing the back office of having an MC and you just want to stay in your sweet spot, you just want to work with customers and move freight, maybe it's time to think about becoming an agent of SPI Logistics. They've got the back office, the support, the admin, the technology systems, everything that you need to succeed. Check them out at success.spi3pl.com. That's success.spi3pl.com. And be sure to let them know you heard about it right here on Standing Out. Speaking of SPI Logistics, today's guest is one of the all-stars, the rock stars at SPI Logistics that makes the agent's life so much easier. So excited to have her on the show today. So please welcome from SPI Logistics, Shivrani Narayan. What's up, Shiv? How are you?
Good. How are you?
It's so good to see you. I haven't seen you in like 10 months. Last time I saw you was actually in Vancouver.
It was a while ago.
It has been a little bit of time. But how's everything going? I know the weather's starting to get perfect in Vancouver. It's so beautiful up there. I don't know if you know this or not. Fun fact, my wife and I actually honeymooned to Vancouver back in the day.
Really? How long ago was that?
19 years in June coming up.
Wow.
Yeah, June 18th. And so after that,
it was a good time to come.
It was so beautiful. It was amazing. Yeah. We got a private log cabin over on Vancouver Island, not too far away from here.
Oh yeah. I haven't even done any of that. Like I haven't gone into like a nice cabin, which I need to do because I've lived here for most of my life.
Isn't that the case though? I mean, like where you live, you often don't explore it that much. It's like you have to go somewhere to become, adventurous. It's like there's things in St. Louis I've never even done. They're like right here, Yeah. So totally get that. Hey, tell everybody a little about yourself and what you do over at SPI.
So I am our client service manager at SPI. I was a supervisor not too long ago, and I started off as a client care coordinator. And as a manager now, I oversee our client care department, which I'm sure you've been told, but it's like, this is what we what we do every day is assist our agents and help our agents with, their day-to-day business operations, carrier vetting. There's so much more to it, which we'll get into, more into afterwards, but that's pretty much what I do at SPI.
Yeah, you and your team there, you're like the wind beneath their wings. Like you guys really hold them up. You like help them be
I hope
successful.
so.
No, you do. Like that's the thing. When I was in Vancouver and I got a chance to talk to you and talk to some others that are there, I could see the joy that you get out of helping agents succeed. And like,
Yes.
agents can be great at sales, they can be great at communication, but there's so many things that go on behind the scenes that they need help with to really shine. To really stand out with their customers, with their carriers, and you guys do a great job with that. What is it about this job that you just love it? I mean, when we spoke back in I guess it was July of last year, when we spoke, I could just see the joy that you have of really helping agents. Tell me about that.
I think that's one of the biggest things, and I feel like that's something I've always thought about as like for a job, or what I look for in a job at least. Because I started in when I first started working, I worked in retail, and you help customers in retail, but SPI really showed me the difference between a client and a customer. And then for us, clients are more than just that. It's not even just a client. We have actual relationships with these clients. So SPI really showed me the difference. And working in retail, I was doing a part-time job. I was trying to do, I was thinking about doing like medical or something, going to school for that. But I always knew I didn't want to just do like just the quick transactions. For me personally, I wanted to do like a nice long-term client relationship, client care type of thing, which is what SPI One taught me to. I have the opportunity to now actually do. And so that's huge for me. And I think that's what I appreciate is at being able to actually build that relationship with our agents and have not just, again, a business relationship, but a personal relationship with them, and be able to be there for them, for us to reach out to and help them with their business operations.
Yeah, retail can teach you quite a few things. I did retail myself. I have to ask, what did you do in retail? Was it anything good?
In retail, I worked at Foot Locker for about 9
Oh, you
years.
did?
It was just
Oh,
a
nice.
simple, yeah, it was fun. I mean, don't get me wrong, like that was, I was a lot younger and it was a lot of fun, but it was just a sales associate. And, you're just being like in retail in general, you're always being pushed to just do the quick transactions. Let's go, like, sell this, sell that. But I always enjoyed having the conversations with the customers and getting to know what they really need out of it and whatnot. So that's the kind of thing I personally enjoy. And I can see that within our team as well. And even our leadership team and Joe. And you know what I mean? That's what like I said, that's what they've taught me. And I didn't even fully know that that's what I wanted, but this is where we are now.
Yeah.
So it's
Foot
really
Locker.
cool.
So do you like sneakers? Do you have a strong shoe game? You got some Jordans in the closet?
No, I do have Jordans in the closet, yes.
Yeah, you do.
But I mean, not anymore as much, of course, but it's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. Like it was a lot of fun back then, so I would obviously buy a lot of Jordans. They have really good perks and everything, but
I bet.
yeah, I wasn't a huge sneakerhead. I just got into it, and being there, you're gonna become a sneakerhead, or at least, you're being influenced by everything. You're like, oh yeah, those do look cool. Let me buy that. So I kind of
Yeah.
got into it for a little bit, but I can't really say I was a full sneakerhead.
Well, you know what the trend is right now with women in transportation at events?
Mhm.
A lot of people, including like Carrie Jablonski of Trucker Tools, has really started this.
Yeah.
She wears Jordans at every event. Like her shoe game is strong.
Mm.
And a
Yeah.
lot of women are realizing, you know what? The guys are wearing sneakers. We're going to wear sneakers too. And so
Yeah.
it's become a thing now. And some of the
Yeah.
ladies out there have some really amazing shoes at some of these events. So it's been really fun.
That's pretty fun. I do miss that for sure. That's one part of the whole Foot Locker thing that I do miss.
Way more comfortable too, and just more stylish, which it's crazy that we're wearing basketball shoes to conferences now. And that's like the thing to do. But,
Yeah,
that
it's
says a
pretty
lot about
stylish.
Jordan. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
amazing. All right. So before we
Exactly.
get into SPI a little bit more, fun fact, you were born in Fiji. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know where the Fiji Islands were. I looked them up. There's like 50 islands. I mean, there's a lot
Really?
of islands, right?
There's 300 islands, but
Oh,
they're not
excuse me.
all like, yeah, I'm pretty
Whoa.
sure. I should know that, right?
Yeah,
But yeah, there's like 300 islands, but not every island is,
like
like
inhabitable.
habitated. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
um, but yeah, it's called Fiji Islands. But yeah, I was born there and I moved to Canada when I was 7 years old. So, and I used to go back all the time, and I'm actually going back in July after 12 years. So
Oh
I went there,
wow.
last time I went there was in 2012. So I'm pretty excited about that and to see how it
I've heard
is.
it's a phenomenal place to visit. I've never been there,
Yeah,
but I hear it's just incredible. Is the
it's
climate just very
amazing.
tropical? Is it nice all the time, like Hawaii? What's it like?
I mean, from what I remember, it is definitely very nice all the time. And again, when it's raining, which I love, it's warm. So I remember just like sitting outside on the porch and watching it rain. And I actually sat outside during like a cyclone slash hurricane that they had. And I saw like coconut trees break in half, and
Cool.
apparently houses flew away like nearby. So it was
Yeah.
a pretty bad cyclone, but it's like all it was just like wind and rain, and it was pretty intense. And but it was just so warm still, and it was so
Yeah.
tropical, if that makes sense. And then
It's so
yeah, so it's
beautiful, but
pretty
man,
cool.
that's kind of scary too. If something happens, you're on an island by yourself. It's
I know I
kind of
was a
wild.
little scared from what I recall. It was like I said, it was a long time ago. I went back so many times and experienced so many different things. Like every single time I was there, I think there was a tsunami warning, and I was like, oh,
Oh
um,
goodness. Well, I
it's
hope this trip
scary.
is phenomenal. You'll have to send some pictures because I just haven't even seen that. I mean, I'd love to see what it looks like. It's awesome.
I
So
will for sure.
that'll be
That
a
would
fun
be
trip. All
cool.
right, let's talk about SPI and what you guys do. I mean, you guys are focused on agents, making sure that they're successful. You're focused on the customer experience side of it for them, like how supporting them, helping them out, and that type of thing. Talk about. I want to jump into leadership because you mentioned Joe Chandler. He's
Hmm.
phenomenal. I love Joe.
Hmm.
He's such a good
Yeah,
guy. The
yeah.
entire leadership team. I mean, you guys have some incredible people who are leading SPI and helping agents. Talk about the impact of their leadership on you, on the agents, on the company as a whole, the culture. Like that,
Hmm.
to me, that's one of the most important things that any company can focus on is having great leaders. And man, you've got some phenomenal ones, yourself included. Talk about that.
I agree. I think that is one of the biggest reasons I love SPI. And I think that might also be one of the biggest reasons our agents love SPI. I know client care is amazing, our APAR, all the departments are super amazing, but our leadership team is so hands-on, and they're so hands-on with not just their, you know what I mean, like their staff, but also our agents. They're not, oh, you can't reach them. He's the VP or he's the president of the company. Absolutely not. Like our
Right.
agents
Very
have Joe
approachable,
on
very
speed.
available.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not very common from my understanding. That's not something that's common. You can't just call up the president of the company, the VP of the companies. That's not what we. They're really there to lead. They're really there to mentor you and us, and that's what I've gotten from my whole almost 4 years at SPI. And again, like I said, that's what I've learned is client experience and client care through our leadership team, which is huge. So it means a lot to me because I've never felt like I can't go to the VP of finance, the VP of sales, our president of the company, my own VP of, people in operations. It's like it doesn't matter who is what in the company, you can always reach out to them. And that is the same thing with our agents, and that's the same thing with anybody else in our company. So
Yeah.
that is my favorite thing.
I know that Mike is traveling a lot to spend time with agents. Joe does that as well.
Yeah.
And there's really two approaches to leadership that I've seen over the years, and that is leaders who think that you're here to serve me, and leaders who think I'm here to serve you.
Yeah.
And certainly, the team at SPI takes the latter of those two approaches. I've seen that. Like it's just incredible. Like I know that Mike goes and spends time with agents, takes them to events, has fun with them, talks about their family. Joe's the same way. You guys have your agents. I think you recently just had your annual agent conference, which I
Yes.
know is also a great event as well. Talk about that. Like, what was that like?
That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It was very busy. It gets really, really, there's so many people. And then for us, it's mostly, we're obviously there to assist. At the end of the day, as fun as it is, our main focus is to make it fun for our agents. So it's just really incredible seeing everybody connect. And it's so fun to see them connect afterwards. And like utilize an app that we use to to get all of our agents connected. It's really, really fun to see just everybody networking, I guess, and also mingling, getting to know each other. It's a lot of fun to actually meet the agents that you haven't met in real life as well, that
Always,
we've
yeah, yeah.
just onboarded or something like that. And, or it's been like a year that they've come with the company, but they haven't been able to attend any of our events and whatnot. So that is, I think, one of my favorite things is actually meeting like putting a face to a name, or the voice at least, because you're like constantly talking to these people, and it's like, oh, it's finally nice to meet you, and then you can talk about more than just work, which
Yeah,
is, I think,
there's
awesome.
no replacing that in-person experience. You know, shaking
There
hands,
really is
giving a
not.
hug, having a meal, sharing an experience. All those things are phenomenal. You guys were in Nashville this year.
In
Did you
Nashville,
guys
yeah.
announce next year's? You guys have that
Well, next year is, so every other year it's in Vancouver.
in
So
Vancouver?
next year
Oh,
is
yes.
already a given. We don't know 2026 yet. So that's going to be announced. Like, again, I've only been with the company for 4 years. So last year we announced it in Vancouver that we're going to Nashville, or not last, yeah, last year, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's probably what we're going to do, is announce it next year in Vancouver, where we're
Man,
going exactly.
Vancouver in May, June is such a beautiful spot. It's gonna be awesome. So that's a good event. Crossing my
Exactly.
fingers. I'm hoping to make it up there. It'd be great to get to mingle with you guys. I've met several of your agents, Drew, and some of the others that just good people, man. Such good
Yes,
people. So
I
great
know.
culture there. Great, a lot of good things going on, which is really incredible. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Was there anything? What was there anything fun or standoutish in Nashville that you guys did? Uh, anything wild, anything crazy? Or was it a lot of business
No,
networking and
I think we did a lot of fun events as well. But one of my favorites was like our welcome reception, which we have at every event, and it was just the beautiful location that we had it in, which was Water's Edge in the resort that we were at, and it was just so beautiful, and it was. I think that's one of my favorites because you're standing up, you're able to talk to anybody and everybody, and it's not like a seated down. You know what I mean? So it's something that you're just introducing everybody to people, and you're getting to know everybody. So I think that's one of my favorite ones. But I don't know about anything crazy.
I'm sure you guys had a good time. We don't have to mention everything, but I'm sure it was a lot of fun. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Shiv, you're incredibly talented. You're an incredibly smart person. What is it about transportation, about this industry, or just about SPI that keeps you here? You know, like you could do anything, but man, you love being here. What is it about the industry and about the company that has you there?
Um, every day is different. There's never a day that I can just be like, oh my goodness, I got to do the same thing again and again, or I have this to do. Like, it's just, there's no telling what my day is going to bring. And it's funny because I can have my calendar organized, and I can be like, hey, I have this meeting I have to do. I'll like put on my calendar to do these tasks. That's probably not going to happen. I have to move it up or move it like backwards or something because something else happens. And it's always such a good learning opportunity, which is so fun. I think that's one of my favorite things as well, because I do handle a lot of claims, or I handle, now I'm actually transitioning to handle double brokering as well. So I'm going to be learning about that, which obviously isn't too different from claims, but um, in a sense it is as well, because the carrier still has your load. So I think that's my favorite part, is learning so much about the industry, um, and just how, like, it's funny because not everybody knows what goes on in logistics. And I would think, I was talking to my massage therapist about this like 2 days ago, and I was like, yeah, there's a lot of like theft going on with like cargo and logistics and trucking industry. And he's like, oh really, people just steal trucks? I'm like, yeah, it's pretty interesting. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's just a part that fascinates me, and I really, really do enjoy talking about it. And I know my friends are like, "Wow, you really like this stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, it's really
It is pretty
interesting."
wild that, in an industry where you're just moving freight all day, that every day is different. I hear that from so many people about something they like about our industry is how different it is. And when you tell somebody about stealing trucks, I wonder if they think about Fast and Furious, like that kind of stealing trucks. They probably don't understand exactly how it all
Yeah,
works.
they probably don't. Yeah.
It is a major issue right now, and I know that you guys had a panel on that at the agent
Yes.
event to talk about that. I know it's a big issue right now. I mean, it's all hands on deck trying to figure this thing out. So you're going to be focusing specifically on helping agents with that, with implementing technology, with becoming educated. What does that transition look like for you? I know it sounds like it's new, like you haven't quite done it yet, but you're moving into it. What's that going to look like?
I've definitely seen everybody do it, but it's not going to be too crazy. It's very similar to claims. It's just more so the fact that the carrier, it's really similar to claims. Like, it's just a lot of facilitating back and forth, kind of like what to do, getting some proof. So it's not going to be too crazy. I think it's just a little bit exciting because I'll just learn a lot more and see different scenarios compared to what I've seen with claims, which again is still also a never ending thing. And always new. So
Right. Every claim's
that's
probably
really
pretty
important.
unique. I mean, it's
Very unique. And I
yeah.
always, whenever I try to train like our staff on it, I'm like, yeah, there's no actual like standard procedure because it's so complicated. All I can show you is how to open a claim and how to close a claim, but in between, it's so jumbled sometimes, depending if it goes smoothly, we're good. But many times you're always hitting these roadblocks and it's it's pretty fascinating, but yeah.
Yeah, well, it's nice that the agents have somebody who is on top of all of that. They don't have to worry about that. They know that you're handling it, and they can
Yeah.
focus on their business, which is really, really helpful. Can you think of a time where you helped an agent, maybe just something kind of unique, and just gave you one of the like the greatest feelings of like fulfillment and just joy, and they were thankful? Like, can you think of a time where something occurred that really stood out, that was different than what you do on a day-to-day basis?
Well, I guess different from a day to day would be just our even like us having our agent conference recently. I got a call from one of our agents and they had like an issue with the hotel room. So it's completely different from like literally our day to day operations. And I'm so glad I was literally on the plane. We're about to take off, like like we're still on the tarmac, but we're about to take off. And he called me and he's like, Shiv, like they're saying there's a problem with the room. And I'm like, Anita, there's a problem with the room. And we're just like freaking out, but we're texting the hotel as quick as possible. And we were able to get it sorted. And I think that's one of the things that makes me so happy. And, getting some feedback from that as well was really good. Like, but I think that's just very different. And again, also something that he was like very thankful for. And I'm glad we were able to do that for him.
But you know what,
So,
that speaks volumes to the mindset that you guys have. That wasn't even in your wheelhouse of like, responsibilities or things you do on a on a regular, daily basis. And yet, handling that for them, I mean, that's a big deal. When you check in a hotel and it's not good, it's such a depressing thing.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
not
It's
right.
like they're saying this is blah blah blah. And I'm like looking at my emails. I'm like, no, this is what it's
Yeah,
supposed
yeah.
to be and whatnot. And yeah, we quickly got that handled again. Like I said, we're sitting on a plane, literally about to take off. I'm like, thank God he called like now. It was, had our number on hand to be able to call us versus having to go through like our phone lines and whatnot. So that part I think for me was really fulfilling.
Yeah, again, I think it speaks volumes to the attitude and the approach that you guys have towards your agents. Do whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes to
Yeah.
make them happy and move in that direction, which is really good. So
Mhm.
let's pause for a second. We always like to have a little fun on the show. Today we have a random question of the day. Now listen, Shiv. Sometimes these are really good questions. Sometimes they're kind of duds. I don't know. Sometimes they're funny. Sometimes they're really serious. We'll just see
Mhm.
what we got. I haven't seen it yet, so let's go ahead and check this out. Today's random question of the day for you is: what animal is the biggest party animal? That's a
I
weird
feel like
question.
it would be a raccoon.
A raccoon. Oh, okay. Tell me
Yeah.
why. I want to hear this.
I thought of like I just can picture a cartoon raccoon. Can't you?
Maybe because raccoons get into trash and they like to
Yeah,
make a
and
mess.
then you can see
As
their
soon as you
little
said it, it clicked.
paws.
I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like a
right.
little, yeah, they're just a party animal,
They always have a
100%.
black eye. There's something that went on. Something happened. Something went
There's something.
down. Yeah. I
They're
think you're right.
partying. Yeah, it's a raccoon.
I think I'm gonna have to go with you on that. I think raccoon is definitely the right answer on that.
The fact that
I
that
could
came right into my head. I'm like, it's a raccoon.
I mean, I can't really think of anything else too much besides that. I think that's actually quite clever. So they're the ones that get into all the trouble and have a good time. So if there
Exactly.
was ever an animal that you thought maybe had too much to drink, it's a raccoon. We're gonna go
Exactly.
with that. That's what we're gonna go
Exactly.
with. So all right, that's a decent question. That's not bad. That's a good question. I like that one. That's good.
Mhm.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about how to like what's the process for somebody who's interested in becoming an agent or maybe a freight brokerage that just kind of tired of dealing with all the the headaches of owning their MC and all that kind of stuff. What's the process for them to learn more about becoming a part of SPI?
I think, well, they would need to go through, well, coming on to SPI is, I hope, and I know that we make it very smooth. It's not difficult. Again, we train, if they do already have their staff, we train them. And then if not, then we also train themselves, like the agent themselves. But we do actually have this new platform, SPI Academy, which we are utilizing so that we have like all these videos. It's a whole learning path and they just need to go on that and everything is there and we're there to assist them if they have any questions for what is needed afterwards, we always set up like a follow-up appointment or follow-up meeting. But the process itself is not difficult, I would say. If they're wanting to come on with SPI, it would just it's depending on what their goals are, and just depending on what they're looking for. And I think a lot of people would want to get rid of the admin side of things and just focus on their customers and their business. And that is one of the biggest things that we are here to offer. And again, they don't want to deal with claims. Do they really want to deal with all of that? If the load is double brokered, not even just that, even if they're like unsure as to like, hey, what do I say to my customer about this? Or my customer has this question. We help with so many of those little questions every day. And I'm just like, wow, we're able to really assist with those kinds of things. And it really makes me happy, I think, because there's so many different agents and they don't know these things and they don't always hit those roadblocks, or they don't always get those questions. But then sometimes a customer will be like, hey, how do I do this? Or do you guys offer this? And then they'll come to us and we're like, yeah, let's take a look at this. For even if we don't know it, we go research, we deep dive and see if it's something that we're able to make possible. But I think that's
that really resonates with me, because if I were a freight broker, and I'm not, but if I were, I would, because there's so many admin things that I have zero desire to do. I know that most freight brokerages, especially the smaller ones, they start by people who are, working with customers or booking loads, and they think I can do this better, but they don't realize all the admin that goes into it, all the things that have to be there, all the technology that you have to buy and implement, and dealing with claims, dealing with carrier payments. Finance is a big deal. I mean, just collecting payment and paying trucks, that's a lot of work. And so I definitely resonate with that. And I love the academy that you guys have created, because we talked about this a little bit at, I think it was at TIA, the last time that I saw James and Anita. We talked about this briefly. Like, I love the fact that you're putting these tools in place to make it really easy for somebody to get up and running as an agent, because, that can be a real hassle. The transition can be challenging. You guys make it really easy to do that. It doesn't take very long for them to get up and running and work in the system, and making sure all their customers transition over, without losing any. I think that's really, really important. So I love the fact that you guys have created that. And I'm not surprised. I wasn't surprised when I heard that. But I love the fact that you guys have done that, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely something exciting. It's never something like, oh yeah, you can, here you go, this is what you can look at. It's like, no, here you go. We also give a little template, write down your questions, like, with like every little topic that we have, write down questions that you may have. And then we already book like a second appointment with them just to see like what can we go over with you and what do you need help with afterwards. So a lot of that I think is very important. And again, it's never going to be like you're off on your own kind of a thing. Like, yeah, we have this now, so you're good. Just go take a look at it.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. And I was playing golf with a couple of agents, and one of their favorite things they said was how accessible it is to call your team and to get help right away. And that's huge. So again, I love what you guys are doing. Love the fact that you're there for your agents, and we're appreciative that you guys partner with us. So thank you so much for sponsoring and supporting Standing Out. It's a huge blessing for us as well. It is great having you on the show, Shiv. Thank you for coming by and sharing your experience about that. I hope you have a great time in Fiji this summer. I'm so jealous.
Thank you.
It's going to be awesome. And you have to come back and see us again real soon. Or maybe next time we'll do this in Vancouver.
Yes.
We'll have a live one.
Can't wait to see you. Exactly. That'll be awesome.
All right, Shiv, we'll talk to you real soon. We're going to let you out to a little more Katy Perry roar.
Perfect. Thank you.
And again, thanks, Shiv, for being on the show. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right, everybody, make sure you come back every Tuesday for Standing Out. Thanks, Shiv. Be sure also to check out SPI at success.spi3pl if you are interested in becoming an agent and getting rid of all that back office admin. And again, don't forget to sign up for the Elevate Conference. It's coming up. It's this week. It's going to be a great event down in New Orleans. Go to events.tmsatoday.org to sign up for that. Until next time, don't forget, stop standing still, start standing out. We'll see you soon.